Hi everyone, my name is Delia. I'm a director of marketing at Pivotry, and today we are continuing our Adapting to the New Reality series, where we're asking leaders from various organizations to shine light on how organizations can possibly navigate today's new reality. So today I have with me Raj Atwal, our VP of Sales, that is going to be answering a number of questions and hopefully help us out and provide some insightful answers on how we can all apply these things and navigate today's new normal. Hi, Raj. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, nice to see you.
So my first question is, what market trends are you seeing amongst our client base? Obviously, you talk to customers, you talk to our regional sales directors every day. Are there any specific trends, or are we seeing more of a mixed message? What does it look like?
I think we're seeing probably a mixed message out there, and it really does depend from which business you're in, whether you're in manufacturing, whether you're in specific industries. As a couple of examples of recent customers and partners that I've spoken with, the customers that we have in, for example, medical supply, they seem to be really busy, really scrambling to obviously, help out with the situation at hand. We're also seeing food supply. Anybody that's working in the grocery industry or supplying to the grocery industry, a lot more investment in projects, accelerating with key initiatives and really scrambling again to keep up with the supply chains there. For our retail customers, obviously with all these closures with the malls and the stores, we are just seeing them now emphasize everything that they can to their only channel, their only remaining open channel, which is their e-commerce or their online channel. So again, we're seeing a lot of customers reaching out to us and ensuring that they stay up and running on their online channel.
So except the sort of spinning up their e-commerce stores, is there anything else that our retail clients are doing to sort of like weather the storm, or all of their efforts are just going into e-commerce?
The most I'm seeing right now is that most of their efforts are going into the e-commerce.
Got it. Okay. In your career, have you ever experienced anything similar to this level of uncertainty? Like at SARS in early 2000s, there was a recession in North America in 2008. Any similarities, or we have never experienced anything like this?
I mean, I think there's some similarities, but I definitely think what we're experiencing right now is pretty unique. It's having, number one, a real true global impact. And I don't think we've had anything like this before. The SARS outbreak didn't manifest itself into a global pandemic. The recession did hit employers and employees, but didn't really affect health. I think what we have right now is the speed at which that this is happening. It's affecting all ages, all geographies. It's very difficult, and it's stressing everything from our healthcare facilities and our healthcare workers to our government leadership, who are now having to come up with really creative and innovative programs to try and help us get through this time. And in some way, much like the Pivotry motto, the whole world is having to adapt relentlessly.
Absolutely. Obviously, when there is a lot of panic and a lot of fear in the world, and everybody's panicking in personal lives, businesses, what do you think are the most common mistakes that businesses make during the time of crisis?
It's quite a loaded question. I think it really depends. It's on the unique situation of each business and each organization and each company. Things like, do they have, what's their financial status, their access to credit, their own even core values. I know one of the things that we've done at Pivotry, we've tried to address this really early on. And one of the first things that we did was we reassessed our company values. And we wrote up a set of temporary values, some of which are common to our corporate values, but just more temporary for this specific situation. And we're allowing those values to really guide some of the decisions that we're making. So some of the things that, for instance, we've come up with is, let's help flatten the curve. Let's have honest communications. Let's prioritize our people and our staff, and let's keep them in jobs. Let's maintain unity. make sure we are obviously servicing our customers and our partners and delivering what is now really even more an essential service. Respect our vendors and partners. We know everyone's going through similar situations. Obviously, we're all in this together. And retain optimism. We know we're going to come out of this. It's just a matter of time. So we're using those to really guide the types of decisions that we're making. So again, at this time of crisis, I think every organization needs something like that to guide the decisions that they're making.
That's very interesting. So essentially just falling back on the set of values that the company has, or even come up with like a new set of values that will give guidance for everyone in a company.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. Ruthless prioritization is critical in the times of crisis, and obviously whether it comes to cutting costs, decreasing our labor force, whatever that might be, it's obviously a really hard job for leadership these days. Any words of advice to other leaders on how to make the right decisions when prioritizing these decisions?
Yeah, again, if you have a good set of values that can help you drive your prioritization and you stay true to those values, I think it does fall back to that. I will share with you, we are seeing a lot of people again adapting, changing to the situation. We have luxury clothing retailers that are now changing their manufacturing lines to deliver, surgical gowns, masks. So I think what you got to look at is, how can your organization help? Either continue to deliver an essential service if you're in that business, or if it's not an essential business, can you change your manufacturing? Can you change what you're doing to help the global situation? So I think those that do really well in this time are going to be those that are looking to adapt to see how they can participate positively in this global situation.
Awesome, thank you. There are also studies and supporting data that shows that organizations that invest even more in times of crisis, they benefit more in the future. I find it pretty interesting because I find that the rest of the world is pretty much doing the opposite. Everyone is in self-preservation mode, saving cash, kind of like preparing for the unknown. What do you think about like investing even more in times of crisis? What's your take on that?
Yeah, I think there's some proven studies out there that do show that, those that have, again, access to capital, credit, or good cash reserves, those that are investing in this time will come out no doubt stronger. I don't think there's two ways about that. So I think it really depends, again, on your situation. If you've got the cash, there's going to be innovation that comes out of this situation for sure. So I do believe that those that can invest, can afford to invest, that can think outside of the box, that can adapt, will no doubt come out of this situation far stronger.
Do you think organizations that don't have a lot of sort of like capital today, do you think they will start thinking about having more capital for the crisis in the future? Do you think companies will start like having that mindset?
I think this is going to change just more than that even, right? Like I think the way organizations now prepare for business continuity, global disruptions, local, even regional disruptions. I think people are going to take that a lot more seriously. I think, getting more access to capital and credit is going to be key, but I think there's going to be a lot more changes of just getting more money on your balance sheet. I think you're going to see leaderships and groups look at their internal processes, the way they operate, the way they work, the way their supply chain runs. And they're going to look to see if this happens again, that they're going to be more prepared. There's no doubt that the countries in and around in Asia that suffered the SARS crisis a few years ago, they were more well prepared than Western Europe and North America. So I think there will be a lot of lessons to be learned, and there will be a lot of changes going forward in the way organizations prepare for something like this next time.
Absolutely. I think there's going to be a lot of innovation as well, as you said.
Yeah.
So turns or crises, they can come in many forms and obviously appear like They can appear without much notice, as we've already experienced, but they can also take different turns. Obviously, what we're experiencing right now is really tragic and really, really scary, but there are also crises like an unexpected security breach or a new competitor comes into the market. And this notion of infinite adaptability mindset seems really critical for businesses to be constantly adapting to changes, whether it's having sort of like technology stack or architecture that's adaptable, or having resources that are really agile, having that team structure that's really agile. How do you think Pivotry can help with that adaptability for our clients?
Well, I mean, our motto at Pivotry is adapt relentlessly, as you know, Delia. So I've been with the company for 11 years, and the company that I'm at today is not the company I joined 11 years ago. So Pivotry has a really, really strong and deep history in innovation and adapting. Whether it's what we've done with Oracle Commerce and ATG, moving that onto the cloud, the headless commerce work that we've done. We went from a traditional data center company to be a company really heavily invested now in cloud and adoption and helping our customers to do that. So we've gone through and learned a lot of lessons around how to adapt, how to innovate, which is part and parcel, selecting the right products, services that you take to market, but there's also a lot of internal change management. To your point, setting up agile teams that can, go away and set up something by themselves and grow that into a full business or a practice within the organization. Business processes need to be adapted and changed. So I think Pivotry has a lot of experience that we can bring to people. So I do feel very strongly that we can help companies think through adapting, think through changing. It's something that we've got, again, a very, very deep history in.
Awesome. And my last question is a fun question.
Oh, wow.
If you were to be born with a superpower, what would it be?
Well, you take me back to my childhood days now. I think it would be just super cool to fly.
Oh, to fly? Okay.
To be able to fly, to get up into the clouds, yeah. No pun intended, no pun intended.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Raj. It was really good having you, really interesting to hear your take on a series of questions that I'm asking, and hopefully everybody else will find this interview insightful and maybe even learn something new for your organization. Thanks so much. I really enjoyed chatting with you today.
My pleasure, Delia. Thank you for having me.